Cheers to the dreamers, the seekers, the wise. Crystal avenue will reach in the skies. To tarot and starlight will always roam. In the heart of the universe we found our home. Those where the mystics play. We speak the language of the Milky Way. A touch of Venus, a kiss from the moon. Guiding lost hearts with a sweet gentle tune.
Breathe in, breathe out. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome here, welcome back. Good morning, good night, good afternoon, whatever time you're watching this video and whatever day it is that you see this. Welcome here, welcome back. I certainly hope everybody is having a splendid time, an extraordinary splendid time. We are going to read for Taurus today. See what we got coming in for the Taurus collective. But before we get started, we're going to talk about this. This is my book. It's called Say You Love, and it is a testimony of triumph over the darkness of childhood sexual trauma and addiction. Okay, and I wrote this whole entire thing using my phone. I did a talk to text with my phone. I would write some stuff on a paper and then I would talk it into my phone and then I would go back in and edit it. And I did this whole entire process with my phone and some paper. Okay. And I share my story as a message of hope and inspiration for anybody out there who's struggling, for anybody that thinks that their story doesn't matter, that whatever it is that they've recovered, like your story doesn't matter. Your story definitely matters. Okay. Like, it was someone else's story that inspired me to write my own. It was someone else's recovery that inspired me to become recovered. All right. And, I share my story so people don't feel like they're alone, so that you know that no matter what's happened in your life, that there is someone out there that can relate. Like, your story matters. There's somebody out there that needs to hear your story. They need to hear about how you overcame what you overcame in the words that only you can say it in. All right. And I share my story because I know what it feels like. I know what it's like to be, to feel like there's no coming back, no getting out, like stuck in this loop of shame. Okay. And I am as completely honest and as vulnerable as I can be, so that you know that somebody else has been through it. All right. That you are not alone. You are loved and you are worth it. Okay. And that'll be in all of the description boxes of all of my newer uploads. It is available on Amazon. You can also get a free copy on my website. And if you would like a signed copy, you can email me, and all of that stuff will be in the description box of the upload. Okay. So with that being said, let's get started. Taurus. Hi, Taurus. Move this out of the way. Got my Harry Potter herbology shirt on. I don't know how many Harry Potter fans are out there, but I've watched that. I sleep to it because I know it by the back of my hand. So like, I'm not all awake interested, you know, so I put it in the background. I've definitely watched a lot of Harry Potter. I swear that this world, we should be able to, you know, do all those magic things. I think that I came from some other dimension or some other plane where magic really did exist like that. You know, it exists here, but not to that extent, you know, not as openly to that extent anyways. All right, Taurus. What does my Taurus collective have going on? Just do general readings, whatever comes out. Let's see what's good. What's good for the Taurus collective? Remember to always follow your own intuition. Don't ever let anybody tell you what's good. Don't take my word for it. Don't take someone else's word for it. Make sure that you follow your own inner self, your own inner knowing. You know, I don't mind being a conduit for confirmation, but always either pray about it, talk to your higher spirits, you know. I don't ever want to take that power from you, and you shouldn't let anybody take that power from you ever. All right. Ooh, you got the Star. You got the Star, you got the Justice card, and you got the Temperance. You got the Star and the Upright. So you definitely have a lot of hope about some sort of situation. There's something that you have a lot of hope for, something that you're keeping your eye on, you've got your eye on the prize, right? And it might feel that whatever, maybe you feel that some people have it easier than you. Like there's like some sort of unfairness with the justice in reverse. Like you feel maybe that some people have like their lives are just more lucky than yours, or they've got it easier than you, or some people get to their desired goals faster. But that's not stopping you from keeping your focus, from keeping your gaze on that star right there. All right. When she opened Pandora's box and let out all the darkness, it's like none of the darkness ever phased her. So I don't think whatever's going on, whatever you see other people doing, you might feel like a little unjustified, like that maybe you're being overlooked, or like there might be some sort of extremes here. Like you might feel that you're overlooked or disregarded in some way, but that's not stopping you from completing your goal. You might be a little bit overindulgent, with alcoholism or addiction, self-healing and realignment with the temperance in reverse here. You could be dealing with a Libra, an Aquarius, or a Sagittarius. But there's definitely some sort of conflict as far as where your hopes are concerned. It's like that might be conflicting to other people. Like there might be people that are trying to talk you out of it, trying to, say that you're never going to accomplish it, or just trying to pop your balloons. They're throwing water on your parade. But you have this very much like defeat, like win at all costs. But make sure that you're not like lying or cheating or stealing to get whatever it is that you are after. You might find some other people out there with the Five of Swords there. You might see some other people that have lied their way up the ladder, that have defeated or climbed over other people, or stepped on others to get to where they're at. And I don't think that you are willing to be that person. It's like you will succeed without having to do any of those types of things. Like you're going to succeed naturally, like, and honestly. Like you're all about like having clean money, having clean hands, a clean heart, clean mind. It's like you want to go about whatever it is you're after like the right way. There's definitely been some sort of accomplishment. You might get a certificate or like a pat on the back for something that you've accomplished or something that you've completed, something that you've put a lot of hard work into with the world here. That's accomplishments and wholeness, like attainment, fulfillment, travel, celebration, arriving. Like you will arrive. And when you do arrive, you'll be able to say that you arrived by your own hard work, by your own integrity, by your sense of self-worth, not by lying and cheating and throwing other people under the bus, or, being manipulative about it, like, and that's what I think that you've seen that's unfair. You've seen some people that are like really crappy people, like really have really crappy souls, or like they've gone about it in a really crappy way, and it's like they always seem to succeed and be on top, but in the same sense it's like they didn't do it with clean hands and a clean mind. Like they got tears and blood on. It's like blood diamonds. Like they didn't go by it naturally. And I think that you're trying to accomplish whatever you're trying to accomplish very naturally. You have a lot of inner resource, a lot of wisdom. You've been through some struggles. You might have a little bit of financial struggles here and there, and maybe be a little bit paranoid at times, or be exhausted, just like overworked, overwhelmed, and kind of exhausted with just what life keeps throwing at you. But yeah, so make sure that you take time for self-care, for self-love, make sure that you spend some time like nurturing yourself. Don't just always be a yes person. Like my son's a Taurus, my brother's a Taurus, my boss was a Taurus. Like I've been surrounded by Taurus people, and y'all are some of the most amazing, steadfast, like honest, like pure, like you guys are like pure souls. So make sure that you are giving some of that purity to yourself and not just overextending yourself and like constantly giving, because it looks like you might need a little bit of self-love here, or time just for self. You could feel like you're not accomplishing things as fast as you would like to. Like there's a little bit of delays, and there's kind of a standstill. You're scared about how much you're going to have to sacrifice in order to get what it is that you are after. It's like, well, if I want this, but I'm not going to sell my soul for it. So mean, you might be dealing with some sort of heartbreak, some sort of confusion, miscommunication. There might be like a falling out with family members or falling out with people that you were friends with. It's like you were their friend, but they weren't really yours. And I think that that's like really coming to light right now. And I think you're just in this time of acceptance, of like of letting that go, like it is what it is, and just kind of moving on from that. Like it hurts to know that like you've always been there for these people and they really weren't there for you, but that's okay. You know what I mean? Like we can't do things out of expectation. Like you just continue to be the good person that you are. Do what you can do, be as loving as you are. Like if they fall out or they aren't the same way, then that's a them problem. That's not really a you problem. But don't overextend yourself at the same time. Like don't go out of your way trying to prove yourself or trying to win these people's approval, because you don't need their approval. All right, they're either on your team or they're in your way, right? I think you've been doing a lot of soul searching with the Hermit card. Like you've been doing a lot of like soul searching and inner reflecting, and like talking to universe, talking to God, talking to yourself, like doing a lot of praying. Like you might be asking for a lot of guidance. Sometimes you have to actually ask out loud, like your soul, your angels and your ancestors can't like interfere or intervene without your permission. It's like there's still that law of free will. So sometimes you have to actually like ask out loud or give permission out loud, like angels, guardians, guides, you have my permission to intervene. If I'm going down the wrong track and you need to steer me, please steer me. Like you have my permission to help me. Like sometimes those things have to actually be verbally said out loud in order for them to come in and kind of like do some rearranging. But I think you've been doing a lot of soul searching, a lot of reflecting, a lot of taking accountability for any of your past mistakes, for like, well, I could have said that differently, or I could have acted a little bit differently here. And instead of just saying those things, I think you're actually trying to implement them into your daily life. It's like you're not just talking the talk, you're trying to walk it as well. So that's pretty awesome. Yeah, and you're avoiding conflict. Like if you even smell a hint of drama, you're out. Like you're okay with agreeing to disagree. You're like, that's fine. We can agree to disagree and we can still be friends. Like it doesn't matter, like if we get into one fight and then all of a sudden you're throwing me under the bus and telling all my secrets, or totally betraying me, or then that means you were never really my friend to begin with. And like I said, you're either on my team or you're in my way, right? And I think you're pretty much just avoiding whatever conflict. Like you're not my circus, not my monkeys, right? You're respecting differences, agreeing to disagree. Like it's okay to have diversity. Like you can be your person, I can be my person, and we can meet in the middle. That is Mojo climbing up the wall. This is her daily her daily zoomies. And I think you're really planning for the future. Like you are making like your 7-year plan, your 5-year goal. You might have a vision board. Like you are definitely putting plans into action. Like you have a very solid foundation. You have a very clear understanding and a knowing of what it is that you're trying to accomplish. And I think you're putting very, very tangible and tactful plans into place, right? Like you are making decisions about what it is that you will accept, or where it is that you are going, and you're writing like a blueprint on how you're going to get there. Like you have a full-on blueprint of like how you're going to succeed at this goal that you have. Like you're not going to let nothing stop you, and you do have the wheel of fortune, so you do have good luck on your side. It is an uptick of good fortune. There's definitely going to be a turning point. Inevitable fate, the fate of the three sisters of fate, right? Like in life there's a lot of ups and downs, and I think you're moving on to a more of one of the peak frequencies here. But remember to enjoy it while it's like that. Like don't take stuff for granted, because what comes up must come down, and what is down must go up. So make sure that you spend time to be in the moment when things are really looking good and everything really feels good, to actually like take in that moment. So when you're at your down times, you can remember those times when you were in your good times, right? Because if you can remember, like when you're feeling down or whatever, if you can remember the times that it felt good, then that's your evidence right there that it won't always be bad, right? Because if you can remember a time when it's good, that means it wasn't always bad. And vice versa. If you can remember a time when it was bad, that means it's not always going to be good. So make sure that you take the time to enjoy it when life is good. Like soak in that energy, like, you know, put it in a bottle and put it up on a shelf so that you can open it up for later and pour it into your brain and like relive that experience, because it's not always going to be good and it's not always going to be bad. There's definitely going to be that ebb and flow, but I think you're moving on up. You've got the wheel of fortune in the upright, so luck is definitely going to be on your side. Remember to bottle that feeling, you know, so you can carry it with you. Like, don't take it for granted, right? I think that you're going to be looked at as like a leader. You got the King of Wands. You know, the people definitely come to you for answers. Like if they have questions, they like you're the person to talk to. Like if they need something figured out, it's like, oh, you can do it. That Taurus can do it. You know, like you are definitely somebody that people look up to, that people come to for advice. You might even have people coming towards you, trying to figure out some of their own life problems. Like they might be asking you for advice. You know, you're very career focused. You know, you're really good at overcoming whatever obstacles are put in your way. But you do have a little bit of self-doubt. There is some sort of, you know, like you probably punish yourself harder than you would somebody else. Like you are your own worst critic. Like you wouldn't treat your friend that way, right? So why do you treat yourself that way? Like are you not your own friend? You know, like if you would give your homie, you know, your forgiveness and your understanding, your compassion, then make sure you turn that onto yourself, because you are your own homie too. You know what I mean? So don't treat yourself worse than you would treat somebody that you love. Okay. Because if you love somebody and like they fucked up, you know what I mean? Are you going to rag on them and beat them up and throw them under the bus and like keep whipping them and, you know, telling them how worthless they are or whatever? No, you wouldn't do that. Right. So don't do that to yourself. I think that you are really hard on yourself when you do make mistakes, okay? And nobody is perfect, but we're all perfectly imperfect. So show yourself the same amount of compassion you would show somebody that you love, because you love yourself, right, Taurus? So make sure you're not too hard on yourself, all right? I think things are going to be picking up pretty rapidly. I think you're going to see some pretty straightforward movement. It's like there was all these obstacles or there was all these blockages, and it's like slowly but surely you're going to start seeing like the doorways open up. The pathway just gets brighter. Like you'll know exactly who to talk to. You'll know exactly where to go. You'll know exactly what to play. You know, like you'll just have this like this knowing. You'll be able to see it. It's like the path will become brighter. You know. And it's going to make things move a lot faster in the direction that you want them to go, you know. But there might be like that. It might cause some tower moments. You might have some sort of tower moment that is sudden and unexpected. Okay. And not all towers are bad, but usually towers, if they fall, it's because they were built on faulty foundations, right? That they didn't have a strong foundation to stand on. So if there is something that falls out sudden and unexpected, like is as abrupt as it might seem, it's actually for the better in the long run. All right. So that way you can rebuild onto a stronger foundation. So if somebody just suddenly falls out from nowhere, it's because they were supposed to fall out from nowhere. It's because they were saying things that you didn't hear, you know, that God did hear, but you didn't. They had some sort of bad intentions or ill intentions. Like somebody just falls off from being a friend or just falls out, you know, like if you like whatever it is, whatever this tower moment is, it might feel like it is sudden and unexpected, right? So, I mean, if you do ask your guides and your higher self to remove people from your life, then be prepared, you know? Like if you're like God, please remove anybody who's a snake in my grass, then be prepared for whoever falls out, okay? Cuz I mean, sometimes our best friends are actually our worst enemies, you know? And I think there is going to be some sort of secret that comes to light with the moon in the upright here. You know, you might be having some sort of very vivid dreams. There might be a situation that you dream about very vividly, like maybe your psychic senses are awakening at this time. Like you might feel a little bit more in tune with like clairaudience or clairvoyance, or you might have, you know, prophetic visions or prophetic dreams, or just that's knowing. It's like you don't know how you know, but you just know. Like you could kind of see things before it happens, you know? And I think that'll help you with whatever this tower moment is the fact that like you have this this unknown knowing, right? You know what I mean? If you know, you know? Right. Right. Quite right. You know, be careful not to use your power for like manipulation tactics. There might be somebody around you that is has some sort of abusive authority. Like they might try to use their authority to get you to do things that you are past your moral compass. You know, stay true to your own moral compass, right? Stay true to your own integrity. I don't care who's telling you to do it. If it feels morally wrong, then don't do it. Like use your own moral compass, because there might be somebody on the outside that's going to try to get you to do something dirty or get you to do something a dirty way, and it's going to be a real big test of your integrity, of yourself. You know, that's part of that, like clean hands, clean money. You know, like you're not trying to go at it in a dirty way, but I think somebody's going to try to convince you to be dirty, you know, to buy clout, to like sell your soul to this, or to sign a contract and be part of this like record deal, or you know what I mean? Like somehow or another, somebody's going to try to use their power to manipulate you into something that is beyond your moral compass, that you don't feel right about. Like always trust that inner knowing, right? Our intuition is a feeling, it's not our thoughts. As soon as we start thinking about it, that's our ego trying to categorize it or put it into a box or label it or justify it or analyze it, right? But our intuition is like this feeling. Okay, so if you have an off feeling about something, like you just don't feel right in your stomach about something, trust and believe in yourself. Okay, no matter how much a person tries to pressure you into it or try to convince you that, you know, that you're effing up because you ain't going the way that they want you to go, like maintain your moral compass, because you know what's good for you and what's not. All right, but be careful with that overindulgence. All right, don't be out partying all the time, over drinking. You know, it's like partying, heavy partying. Make sure that you take some time for your alone time, right? It's amazing the company that silence keeps. Okay. Yeah, but you're definitely going to see some movement here soon with whatever this first, like with your whatever your hopes and your dreams are. You're definitely going to see some movement, some progress, some paths clearing. We got the Chariot here. There's going to be some obstacles that are moved out of the way. You know, like fate's going to come in. That Wheel of Fortune's going to kick up, right? And you're gonna see some real improvements in what it is that you're after. You might be networking with the right people. You might just happen to be at the right place at the right time, and you overhear a conversation and you're like, hey, I was just talking to my friend about da 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 da, and then you guys click and then it turns into this whole other thing, right? I think you're going to be in the right place at the right time for some sort of like great social networking thing going on. So keep on the lookout for that. All right. And don't be indecisive. You know, you might have some difficult decisions, but that might be with this Magician in the reverse trying to get you to go against your own moral compass. All right, don't ever go against your own moral compass, because yeah, I mean, you're going to do what you're going to do, but if you feel like somebody is trying to push you to do something that you don't want to do, make sure that you stand your ground. And it might be difficult to make that right decision. Sometimes making the right decision is the hardest decision to make, right? Yeah. So stay open to new opportunities, but stay firm in your boundaries and sense of integrity, right? Use that moral compass to guide you, and ask out loud for help when you need it. Like if you need some extra help from your angels or from your guides, like verbally, like help me. help me make this decision. Help me stand strong with my boundaries, right? Because they can't interfere with free will. But if you ask them to come in and help you, then they can come in and help you. But be prepared for whatever it is that this tower is, because it might not be who you expect it to be. Okay? So stay strong in your moral compass there, and don't ever lose sight of what your dream is, but don't get it dirty, right? Let's get you a yes or no question. Yes or no for the Taurus collective. What do we got? Taurus says yes. You are reborn from the ashes. The unexpected completion of a previous stage at your openness to everything new gives you incredible luck, empowerment, and a generous reward. You will be the center of attention for some time to come. Enjoy your accomplishments. They couldn't have happened without you. Isn't that for true? Isn't that for true? That's pretty powerful. That's a powerful reading, Taurus. So stand strong with your own integrity, with your own moral compass, right? And don't be win at all costs, and be leery of people who are like that. You know what I mean? Like, it might seem like they succeed, but at what cost? Like, what cost on their soul, right? Stay true to you. And until next time, be good to yourself and others, always and always. Fruit, beep, beep. Love you.